what's going on?
Y'all just out here playing a game of shoulda, coulda, wouldas with Leona Lewis. Let me tell you about it. Okay, but first, this is the Dare Show podcast. Welcome. Thank you for listening. Once again, here we are on this podcast. It's a music-based podcast with other stuff sometimes. I want to dare you to look at things through a different perspective, which is my perspective. So anyways, last week I talked about Leona Lewis and how she like kind of disappeared and how she had like some struggles and shit. And I just came across this video like literally like 2 minutes ago, 2 seconds ago, talking about all these songs she either turned down or something happened and the song didn't even happen. Like songs with like Halo, I think was like offered to her. What other songs? We Found Love, I think she allegedly recorded it, but Rihanna put it out first. So, you know, the big music industry. All of Me by John Legend was supposed to be a duet. Like, I've never heard of this stuff before, so I'm like, okay. I think We Found Love was supposed to be a Scherzinger some song. Yeah, I think We Found Love was supposed to be a song with her and Nicole Scherzinger, which I don't know how that was going to happen. But anyways, it was like, oh, what could do Stronger by Kelly Clarkson. It's like all these, you know, number one songs. I feel like all these songs were number one, but I feel like when we play a game of shoulda, coulda, woulda with Leona, or just anybody really, it's like you never really know how well a song is going to do with a certain artist. You really don't, because Leona has, you know, a couple of number ones, but the rest of her songs aren't really number ones, but they're really great songs. Like I said last week, like she has really great songs. Some of them aren't number one. Some of them weren't even singles. So I feel like it's very difficult to say, you know, she fumbled the bag or whatever. It's like, you don't really know. You really don't. You don't know how well it's going to do. Especially, and then he was like, name it on these songs. I'm like, damn. Was she even recording music during this time? Or was she even out during this time? Like, it was kind of confusing. Especially with like Halo, because I think Leona came out in like 2007. Or maybe it was 2008. I don't remember. Anyways, but I just find it so interesting how certain people pop off after I talk about them. Like Leona Lewis last week. A couple of weeks ago, it was I was talking about Nelly Furtado and her fantastic album. And then that album ended up being re-released, and you know, I'm over here moving and shaking. Mariah, she's talking about, I say, you know, Mariah's she wants to be politically correct. And then in that next Twitter space she made, she's like, I'm not trying to be politically correct. I just want to say blah, 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 blah. Anyways, Tony Bennett canceled some tour dates. Yes, you heard me correctly. Tony the Bennett canceled tour dates, and I'm so fucking confused. Somebody needs to go over there and call not Child Protective Service. Who takes care of the old people? Elderly. You need to go report elderly abuse, because there is no way. Like I said this before, I've been saying this for like 3 weeks now. I am so confused how they have this man who has Alzheimer's out here trying to work. Well, I guess he's been working, because they said it just doesn't make sense. And I'm like, okay, I know, okay, you know, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say besides call the police. Because what the fuck? It has to be like celebrity privilege, white privilege, for them to have this man who has a brain disease, a memory disease, out here singing still, making money. Because I think they said he was like working up until like March of last year. And I thought they were saying they canceled his tour dates because of, you know, the virus. There's all these strands of mutations coming out here. I thought they were saying that because, a lot of people have been canceling their tour dates. Stevie Nicks, Reba, just a bunch of like bands and people. Like a lot of people are canceling their tour dates. And I'm like, yeah, because this doesn't make any sense. But they're saying he's retiring, so I'm like, he should have been retired when, you found out he had Alzheimer's. There's no way. This is just elderly abuse, in my opinion. But his son, who's his manager, was like, he can still sing. We just don't want him to like injure himself, like falling on stage. And then like doctor's orders were like, his doctor really like ended this whole go ahead and retire thing. Well, not ended it, but like go ahead and retire thing. Ended the tour dates because they were like, he's older and he gets tired, and so traveling is probably not going to be the best thing for him to do. And I'm like, no, singing in general for public consumption is not the best thing for him to do. And they said they found this out in 2016, so that was like 5 years ago now. The AARP article that they did was so heartbreaking. It was like I was reading it. I'm just like, this is. I can't believe that. Actually, I can't believe they published this because I just felt I would like if I was his manager. His son is his manager. And I'm like, I'm his manager. You're not gonna have it. You're not gonna have my dad out here looking like this. Like they were like giving grave details about how he looked and how he was reacting, and I think it was okay. So we found out like Gaga and him recorded this album 4 years ago. That's clear. I think I might have said that last week, but that's clear. And they were like giving like details about she looking at him, her looking at him, and their mannerisms together, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is so heartbreaking. I can't believe like they wrote this article. I kind of feel like it's exploiting him in a way. Actually, that's the word. They're exploiting him. It's elderly abuse. Speaking of Tony Bennett, he's one of them old jazz singers. Did y'all hear about Governor Cuomo having this lady, having this intern or the worker sing fucking Danny Boy? Danny Boy, please get out of here. If you haven't heard Danny Boy, go listen to Danny Boy. And when you hear it, you're just going to crack the fuck up. Like, why do you have this little girl, not this little girl, this woman singing Danny Boy? I want a bagel and cream cheese. I don't know where that came from. I've been meaning to go to Panera and get a bagel. What's next? Should we do some... Oh, no. Let's talk about Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand is kind of reneging on her thoughts about A Star Is Born, which I was about to... Wait, was I about to? I think I was about to go watch A Star Is Born before her news came out. Barbara was like, I don't think it's that creative. I think it's more similar to mine. When I first heard they was going to do a remake, it was supposed to be Beyonce and Will Smith. And I was like, okay, we're moving in a different direction, which is cool. And I was like, Beyonce and Will Smith? Where the fuck did Will Smith come from? That wasn't in the rumor mill back in the day. The rumor was Beyonce and... okay, I'm forgetting. Maybe it was... still Bradley Cooper. No, it was some white man. Cause that old white man, Clint Eastwood, I think he was supposed to direct it. I want to say he was supposed to be the leading role, but okay, I think he was supposed to direct it, and they were having meetings with Beyonce. But then what happened? I think she got pregnant. Yeah, I think she got pregnant. So this was like 10 years ago. Did she get pregnant? Yeah, she got pregnant because I was listening to, I was like, oh my gosh, they're probably gonna remake some of these songs, not knowing like, they're probably gonna like completely redo the entire soundtrack, like make new songs. Not realizing that, but that Bumblebee song, I was like, oh my gosh, I can imagine Beyonce like totally throwing some dude, just going in on this song, just going in, having so much fun with like the backgrounds and the lyrics, and then yeah, but yeah, Beyonce was still on there. You can still remake the Bumblebee song. But yeah, so because I kind of like went and like listened to the soundtracks, like, oh, okay, they're probably going to do this song, whatever. Not knowing it was like a blueprint, not even knowing that that was the third installation of A Star is Born. But Barbra Streisand now saying, it wasn't that creative when I swear, and there's video, there's video evidence of her saying, I love what Bradley Cooper and her did. I think they said, she even like visited the set. And so now the fans are saying Barbara is attacking the writing and the producing of it, which is Bradley Cooper. He like co-wrote it, I believe, and yada yada yada, produced it. But they're saying she was talking about Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga's performances was good, but the movie itself was horrible or not creative enough. She was like I said, she said it seemed similar to her remake. But I'm like, honestly, Barbara, I'm going to tie this together. Glitter and A Star is Born are very similar stories, very similar moments. Like these huge actresses, these huge singers going into acting, making these like acting, singing moment movies. And it's similar to Glitter, and I say that because it is. And secondly, at this point, how much more creativity can we get? Like, what else is gonna happen? What else is gonna happen? Especially, I didn't even really watch the full third installation of A Star is Born, which was like, what, 30 years ago? Yeah, like 30 years ago at this point. But Glitter and A Star is Born are very similar because it's like these women coming from nothing. Well, not, yeah, coming from nothing, struggling. They get into this, like, they meet this man who brings them into something, and then something happens, and it's like the downfall of the relationship. And then at the end, we get a good ballad, except for which album? I'm not even gonna go there because I was just listening to the Glitter soundtrack last night, and I was listening to the Star is Born soundtrack like all week. I love the Star is Born soundtrack. It's beautiful. And remember when Diane Warren was like, they were criticizing Diane Warren about why did you do that, and it being so like vapid and what's the word, lifeless, no substance in the song. She's like, it's my song, it's a pop song. There's always substance in every song I write. She really read y'all for filth. But yeah, so Barbara, please tell. But again, I was like, where did Will Smith come from? Will Smith and Beyonce and A Star is Born. Yeah, that's not a pretty image. I don't know how that was going to happen. Will Smith is not like my favorite actor anyways. I feel like most of his roles are the same, but that's none of my business. Patricia, Miss LaBelle. Patty got this award last week. The Icon Award from the PTTOW. I don't know who they are or where they came from. I think it was an exclusive event. She got the Icon Award. It looked like she was the only black person there. She looked beautiful. Although it's summer, I'm trying to figure out why she was like, what she had those clothes on and capes and jackets on. She looked really beautiful. The PTTOW function, it like celebrates inspiring people who are inspiring in their own craft, and CEOs and icons and stuff like that. Like I said, I've never heard of them. Meek Mill got the Mandela Award, so shout out to him, I guess. And something random. So I was watching somehow Tamika Foster, who was Usher's ex-wife. She was on a quote unquote exclusive interview with some blog, and it just popped up on my YouTube. And so at the end, somehow I don't know how I caught this part. She's talking about Patty, and she was like, they were like, "So what are you up to?" She's like, "Yeah, I still do styling. I just styled, I want to say Anthony Hamilton or Mr. Gap Bam. I'm forgetting. One of those for their video." She's like, "Yeah, I still do styling. I don't style for Patty anymore because, Patty knows what to do." And I'm like, why did Patty even have a stylist? Like, Patty's always been fashionably delicious. Always. Oh my gosh, and I saw these pictures of Patty at the at Whitney Houston's wedding. I didn't realize that was her. I think I've seen those pictures. I've definitely seen those pictures before. But now I'm like, okay, now I know these are from her wedding. Like, okay, they were like really cool. But yeah, she was like, Patty, I styled Patty, but I don't really do that a lot anymore because, she knows what to do. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But I guess, you just need somebody to like bring in, the newest clothing or whatever to get me popping and dropping and locking for the kids. Patty also gave us a little cute little picture for, it happened, like, it was the same, like, picture, it was yesterday, talking about Sarah, happy birthday, I believe her birthday's today, happy birthday, Sarah Dash from LaBelle, and Patty was, like, she didn't say happy birthday, but it's the same day from her birthday, she was just like, "Hey kids, happy Tuesday, have a great week, love ya." It was so cute, she looked so good. But she could have said happy birthday to Sarah. Still, Patty, where's the food? I'm hungry now. Where is the Chinese food? Where's all the stuff you're working on? Give it out. All right, I'm going to take a second and get some water. You can go ahead and get some water too. And when I come back, I want to talk about Patty's goddaughter. I knew I wasn't recording. I pressed something and I was like, I looked down. I'm like, I'm not recording. I definitely wasn't. But welcome back to the Dare Show podcast. This is the 35th episode. And one thing I want to get back to doing is like when I first started my podcast, the Dare Show podcast, 35 weeks ago almost, in February, I would like put music with I would put music at the end or the beginning of the podcast, and it would be like whatever song I was listening to, that was in the week or the day or whatever, like about whatever artist I was talking about. And so I want to get back to doing that, but now I have to like verbally tell you because I can't put it in because Spotify is just gonna limit the podcast to Spotify. But so the Dare Show podcast this week, the song of the week, I'll say, is Fergalicious Death. Fergalicious Death. Fergalicious Death. Fergalicious by Fergie. Go listen to it. It's a fantastic. I may want to go there. Just go listen to it. We love Fergie. I was listening to Big Girls Don't Cry live. And y'all are so fucking shady. People were like, I had to come back here to make sure she can sing live after watching that national anthem. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all are so crazy. I was watching her Rock in Rio, right? And it looked like she did Rock in Rio for like 2 years in a row. And I'm like, Rock and Rio, y'all running out of people. Y'all got to call Fergie twice. And then it looked like 1 year, like, and then in 2019, she did it with the Black Eyed Peas. And I was like, wait, I thought she was kind of done. I meant to look this up. But I'm like, I thought Fergie was done with the Black Eyed Peas. Or maybe she just wanted to get this last little check and call it a day. I don't know. Because you know that check was going to be very nice. But like Rock in Rio, shout out to Brazil. Come to Brazil. Hashtag come to Brazil. Rock in Rio, I feel like those are the best concerts. They always show love from, Whitney back in like 94 to Rihanna. Rihanna, that's one of my favorite Rihanna concerts. Her Rock in Rio. She was going, they were like, it was just nothing but love. And then remember Beyonce when she went, I don't know if she was in Brazil. I know she was in Brazil. But I don't know if this was Rock in Rio, but that fan grabbed her and wouldn't let go. Brazil is nuts. But anyways, so on to Mariah. Mariah. So this week, like, okay, so the article came out like 6 days ago at this point. And the thing is, before I read the article, the night before I read the article, I was on like a Dorinda Clark fan page, like loving a bunch of shit, looking at a bunch of shit. Like, I just love Dorinda's voice. Her voice is so unique. But the thing is, her voice is so unique in the Clark sisters, but it blends so well with Karen, Jackie, and Twinkie. Like, it just doesn't make sense. That group, I talk about them like every week at this point, but that group just doesn't make sense. But anyways, they're doing a song with Mariah. Dorinda. She told her congregation that her and her sisters, they were doing a song with Mariah. Now, if we know like a couple months ago, during Mariah's Twitter space, she was like, yeah, I'm doing the song with a group, but I can't tell you what group it is. And people were like, Chloe and Halle? They're just naming a bunch of shit. And it turns out it's with the Clark sisters. Now, we know Mariah was very heavily inspired by Twinkie and Karen, especially Karen in the late 90s. I think it was like during like Butterfly Daydream. That's when Mariah like really switched up her vocal singing. But you can definitely tell like during that time, she was like saying, they influenced her. You can definitely hear it. It's there. I'm so excited. That's who I've really been waiting for. Jermaine, he did a song on their last album. What is it called? Give me back my time, give me back my truth. I'm forgetting. I'm not going to name it. But he did a song on the Clark Sisters' last album. He produced, and I think co-wrote it. So he did that. And I was like, why hasn't he gotten Mariah in the studio with them? Like, come on. Why hasn't he done this? I hope it's not for Christmas. Oh, shit. It's probably for Christmas. It's probably no, like, good. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Oh, man. They did a Christmas song, didn't they? I don't want a Christmas song from them. Although I do love Mary J. and the Clark Sisters Christmas song. I love that song. The First Noel, I think it is. Ugh, I don't want a song from Mariah. I want a good old regular gospel tune. Oh, man. I love... You know what? It's so funny I say this. I kind of hate the Christmas songs. Like, I'm over Mariah doing Christmas music, honestly. But it's so funny because I was like, I have, Mariah's Christmas music on her playlist. And I was listening to it the other night. And I was busy. I was at work and I didn't like have a chance to like turn it. I was like, okay, here we go. We're going into Christmas. I don't want to listen to it. Why did I sit there and listen to All I Want for Christmas Is You? That song had a hold on me. I was like, I don't want not Christmas. Oh my gosh. As much as I hate it, I don't really want a song. I mean, as much as I love it, I don't want a Christmas song from them. And I think that's what we're getting. Lord. So, anyways, here's a little shout out to Karen, though. Not a lot of people can do Mariah songs really good. And the Mariah Report, they kind of went in. I didn't want to go here, but I did mean to tweet them. The Mariah Report, you guys are really good. But I feel like sometimes you guys go in on black people, black music that you don't really listen to. And I don't like it. It comes off kind of, it's way too shady. They really shaded Kelly Price the other week. They shaded her and then were like, she hasn't had a hit. She's not a hit and she'll never be a hit. And it's like, Kelly Price has a couple of hits in the R&B sector. Oh, definitely. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting that Not My Daddy song. And then As We Lay, Kelly Price has had also, I wish Kelly Price sung Someone. Because Kelly Price, I think I've said this before. I've definitely said this before. Kelly co-wrote someone off of SWV's Release Some Tension album. And I feel like I can hear Kelly singing in the background. Or it's very Kelly-esque. Like, I can definitely hear her. And I wish she would have, like, done that on that show she did, that brought up all this Kelly Price attention. But they were kind of going in on her, and I'm just like, y'all didn't have to go that deep. Just because you don't listen to a section of music doesn't mean that section of music that people listen to it don't support. Because the black community supports and loves Kelly Price. Love Kelly Price. She may not be this huge star, but she definitely is, a shaker, and people love her voice. Like, don't even go there with Kelly. And I felt like they kind of did her wrong for saying that. And then they brought up, like, Ariana. Recently, they were like, it was just so random. It was like, yeah, an Ariana song. They were, like, celebrating the 30th anniversary of Mariah Carey's Emotions album. And they were like, yeah, Emotions, the song Emotions, Ariana did it, but she didn't do it very well. It didn't fit her that well. I'm like, what was that for? Like, what did she do to deserve that lashing? But yeah, so like I said, a lot of people do Mariah songs well, and Anytime You Need a Friend by Karen at the BMI Awards, please go listen to that. It's child. Unexplainable. Like I can't even like build up the words to tell you how amazing that song is. How amazing she did with that song. And then like the rehearsal, she like did like a kind of different version at the end. It was like, oh, I think she was having like vocal issues that day. Also, if we're still talking about gospel people singing. Okay, wait. Fantasy, Kelly Rowland did that really well at the award show BET doesn't do. BET Honors, they don't do that anymore. I don't know what stopped them. I think Patty's was like the last section of people that got that award. But anyways, what a moment. I swear, like the early 2010s, such a moment of so many great things. Music and award shows and a diverse and like number ones and a diverse... Don't get me started. Anyways, Unbreak My Heart by Yolanda Adams. You talk about a singer. She tore that song up. And I think that was for Tony's BMI Awards. Anyways, let me move on. So, I guess that's what we're getting from them. So, please, y'all, please. I know Carrie Underwood. Speaking of gospel music, Carrie Underwood, she was nominated. It was, I'm not even gonna go look it up because it was so ridiculous. The album is a gospel album, but they didn't for the Dove Awards, they didn't nominate her for like best gospel album. It was like best country, folk, bluegrass album. And it was like, y'all, It's a gospel album. Why isn't she nominated for Best Gospel Album? But okay, whatever. Speaking of Carrie, please don't lash my girl too hard. She liked this video of a man giving his defense on why the schools shouldn't be letting kids wear masks. And I'm just like, oh, Carrie. She must have forgot her likes are open. Lord. We're going to keep you. I don't think she believes that. But we never know, people. Last on this list is Madonna. This isn't really big news, but it's interesting news. It's slightly interesting news. Madonna signed a record contract with her former record label, which all in all, basically, she's gonna re-release music with a flair to it, I'm guessing. That's pretty much what is going on. And I think this is going to start happening in 2022, next year. And this will mark her 40th anniversary in the music industry, or recording industry, whatever. So, and it's so funny. I wrote old label, but I was thinking for that Prince album, Old Friends for Sale. That was so shady. Prince is so shady. He knew what he was doing. Are y'all going to check out the Aretha movie? I'm kind of not, like, I don't want to go see it. I'm kind of over it at this point. Because that Aretha Genius, that was a lot. It wasn't like, I don't think it really gave, it was just a lot. The acting was like, She didn't look like Aretha. Cynthia is a dark-skinned woman. Aretha is not. The music is like, it was okay singing. I don't know. What am I hearing about the Aretha movie? I think I'm hearing it's okay. But I'm like, what is it going to tell us that we don't know already from the Genius? And then, if you go on YouTube, Nay Rob, she does like book reviews. She reviewed the book. Go watch that. But, yeah. So Madonna has Old Friends for Sale. And I think Madonna is I think she's pretty much one of the only people who hasn't had like multiple record labels. I think she's only had like 2 or 3. Besides like that Live Nation deal. I think she's really only had like 2, maybe 3 in her entire career. That's pretty interesting. And I think she was on Warner Brothers with Anita and Prince. Very interesting. So that's it for this episode. Tell me what you think. Please, somebody, if you're out there, if you're a Tony Bennett fan, tell me what you think about this. A lot of people in the comments on Tony Bennett being retired were acting like he didn't have this, Alzheimer's. They were just like, he's a class act. I loved watching him. What else are you going to do at 95? It's like, no, the dude has Alzheimer's. Like, he's sick. Like, he can't. Oh my gosh, guys. I swear. Okay, this will be the last week I talk about this. Because it's just too much. What do you guys, the fans out there, Mariah, the Clark sister fans, what do you guys think about this collaboration? I'm excited. What do y'all think about Barbra and this messy? She said, I'm going to take this back. It was like, Barbra, you can't say that. Barbara's almost 80. It's like, oh, Lord. What do y'all think about Leona Lewis? If you watched that video, what are your thoughts? Let me know. Leave a comment. My Instagram is My Love, My Need Tonight. The song of the week, like I said, is Fergalicious Death. Fergalicious Death. Fergalicious Death. Death. Fergalicious by Fergie. If you've been to any concerts this year, what are your concerts? Let me know. Leave some feedback. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Dare Show podcast. I'll be back next week with some more hitter information for you. Bye.